Hey up, how we doing? Are we all right? Just enjoying my Cashmere and Idaho 7 IPA. It's been busy in the brewery. Wasn't brewing today, but we've been doing lots of other bits. Eagle-eyed, might see something behind me. That'll be a video. But I thought I'd drop on, and I've seen SJ Poor started it, and I've seen Abbey Homebrew, John Anderson, Big Banana, Stephen Burton, and Captain Bailey has done one. Thoughts on home brewing? How we started, shops, things like that. So I'm going to do a quick one. It's 30 degrees outside, so if I'm a bit shiny, it's because I haven't got my stage makeup on. Prompt you. It's hot in here. So how did I start home brewing, ladies and gentlemen? It was a bit of a natural progression. My granddad and my dad brewed, and I can remember, as always, doing things with them. I spent a lot of time with my granddad, obviously with my dad. But so they both had big gardens. My granddad had really lovely, bright coloured pheasants. My dad had chickens and rabbits. Gardens, grew their own veg, as everybody used to do. I can remember gran or mum was like, "Oh, go get some takes for tea." Wasn't unusual. We could do a whole meal veg. And both my granddad and my dad had 2 greenhouses. And one of those greenhouses on both sides, granddad and dad, had a grapevine in it. Dad's was definitely a white grapevine. I can't remember what colour granddad's was. And they used to make wine from it. I mean, I think dad just made wine from grapes, but granddad made wine from I can remember him doing nettle wine once. And as you did as a kid in those times, you got a little sip of it when it was ready, and naturally we helped them out. We helped them out in the garden. We helped them out getting some veg. My granddad had a tropical fish tank. Gets us involved. I used to always help him clean the fish tank out, and the same with brewing. Granddad and dad both got me in helping brewing. It was an activity, wasn't it? It was an activity, and we all did things as a family all together. So yeah, it was just a natural progression. Absolutely fantastic. So then when I moved out and got my own house, actually my first house, I got a cottage. I didn't brew. I was quite young, and but then when I got my second house, I can remember starting to brew kits. So, and I can remember, so I used to do kits in the airing cupboard, like most people start, and then putting them in pressure barrels. And I know that my second house, where I started brewing, I used to put the pressure barrel on top of the fridge in the kitchen, and I sat there. I mean, we had a kitchen side with some stools and a telly, and I can remember sitting there one day and looking up and seeing like a dark arc on the wall. And one of my barrels must have just got up to pressure, and just where the tap meets the seal, it was spraying a thin spray. It just made that pressure. So I was letting the pressure out, laying it on its back. Never had it before, and trying to fix it. I did fix it, I think, actually. So I saved the beer, and that is the only trouble. There's been a lot of people talk about problems with pressure barrels, isn't there? But I only had that one trouble. Now I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm going to try and not keep it too long. Although it's again, isn't it? You know how long this video is going to be, because it's been videoed and edited, and it says at the bottom of the screen, Harry Potter YouTube magic again. You know, that blows my mind. So you know how long it is. Sorry if it's long. Sorry if it's too short. And hopefully it's just right. Like 3 bears, isn't it? So yes, I got into brewing. It was a natural progression from my parents and my grandparents. Many years doing kits. Happily. Very nice. Then when I moved here, I think I had more space, much more space. And I started watching, I was watching YouTube brewers, but then, all grain. And I was like, ooh, I fancy a bit of that. That looks good. So I watched YouTube for quite a while, seeing how to do oil grain and watching people videos. John Anderson, Big Banana, lots of them, Clive Cutter. The list is endless. You know, watching how they did it, watching the results, see them serve beer from kegerators, and I was like, I want a bit of that. So I went. I can't remember where I got it from now, but that is a pot with an element in it, a tap, and a thermometer. And I converted an igloo to make a mash tun. And that's how I did it for quite a while, wrapping them up, no temperature control. I did overnight, quite often did overnight mashes, whether that was right or wrong, with my igloo. Thought I'd probably get better efficiency, but I had just started. I had absolutely just started, and I had some really good results. And I was still popping those beers in pressure barrels. And there was a fundamental flaw there where I thought, do you know what? I want it on tap, because I was pressurizing my barrels with these CO2 widgety things, and it just wasn't going that well. They wouldn't keep pressure. I was using loads of them. You know, I mean, it was okay, but it was really frothy at the top, and then as it got lower down, it got a bit flat. I was using CO2 balls, and do you know what, mate? I was like, I am spending 5 hours doing a brew now instead of 3/4 an hour. Something needs to change. So in my Amazon, eBay, whatever box it was, I got everything for making a kegerator, and it was a bit pricey. It was all right, but it was a bit pricey. So I got everything bar the fridge. I put it all in a box, all in my basket, ready. All the lines and the connectors and the taps and the drip tray, and do you know what I mean? Ready. I just needed a fridge. And I was deciding whether to get a second-hand fridge or go all out and get a new fridge. And then on Marketplace, bizarrely, I think it was Facebook Market, it wasn't even a brewing site, that came up for sale, right? It was a 3-tap kegerator in Lincoln, which is like half an hour from me. It was something like 120 quid. Okay, you're saying that might be a bit steep because it had on the front of it just like Carling taps, the plastic ones, but it came with 3 corny kegs. And I was like, okay, it's a bit of a risk, isn't it? A bit of a risk moving a fridge. It's always, if you're going to move a fridge, I know you can let the gas settle and that, but if you're going to move a fridge, there's always that risk of it not working the other end. And that is an old fridge. That is not a new fridge. But when I added it up with all the gas lines and everything and the 3 corny kegs, even without the fridge, it was absolutely a no-brainer. If that fridge didn't work when I got it back, I'd still saved a decent amount of money with the corny kegs and that. Because corny kegs, even then, I mean, they're quite expensive now because it's taken off and it's really popular. But it was, it was still a good deal. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to risk it. So I went with my trailer, kept it upright, and I don't know what that looked like. I had a kegerator back of my trailer all the way home, stood up, strapped on. And then when I got it home, let it settle for 24 hours. But I've never tipped it back. I kept it upright all the time. But I thought, I'm going to just be careful here. Plugged her in, and she worked. So progressed on so I started kegging my beers with that setup as it was. And I was like, this is amazing. Absolutely incredible. So then I was like, do you know what I could do with? I bought some more kegs, new or reconditioned, just so I could have some stacked with beer in, ready to go in for when something kicked. My Pilsner's just kicked tonight. I was gonna show you the clarity on my amazing Pilsner, and it kicked just as I was setting up the video. But I've just put in, so that was the Sladek Pilsner. I've just put a SARS and Tetnang Pilsner straight in there, which was ready to go. Now I'm going to brew another one ready and leave it ready for that because I like it. I like it. It takes a while, but I like it. Although there might be another thing coming soon. Anyway, so yes, and then I was like, I want 4 kegs. That'll fit 4 kegs. I tried it. I got some more kegs. I thought I'll fit 4 kegs in. So I thought I'll buy some more taps. So I bought some cheap stainless taps, which was fine, but fitting them. See, there's any of you, eagle-eyed of you will go 1, 2, 3 together, and then there's one at the end. It doesn't match, and it does my head in, but it is what it is because there was one tap 2 taps, 3 taps, and I've had to fit one in between. But that is, it's fine. I was expecting that fridge not to last this long because I can't remember when I bought that. It was a while ago. I thought it had packed up ages ago, and I was like, do you know what? I'll just get another fridge and shift everything over. So yeah, we moved on. We moved on to kegging beer. Fantastic. Gas is not that easy to get around here. That's the only problem. Um, I used to get it off a mate who had a pub, but he doesn't have it anymore. So I've got some hobby weld stuff, but they're not cheap. But it is what it is. I don't use lots. I turn my gas off in between. I force carb. I don't long carb. So at the moment, shop wise, so we used to have a homebrew shop in Lincoln, and it was a big homebrew shop. This is before I really knew what it was. So I used to go and get a few kits up there, but it was a shop. There was bags of grain, there was kit. There was, I mean, they had 25 kilo bags of grain. I mean, now if I could drive somewhere just up the road and get a 25 kilo bag of grain without paying postage, I'd be a very happy brewer, I'll tell you. But you can't. I can't. There isn't anything. And it used to have everything. It used to have everything homebrew, wine, all grain, before all grain was even that popular. Although I've met some old timers speaking to face now and again. Quite often on my travels when I've been out in the caravan, when we used to go out in the caravan, and you get talking about brewing and stuff, and all grain, they people used to do all grain quite a lot, I think. Anyway, yeah, you could get kits. Looking in hindsight, you could get bags of grain, specialist grain, yeast, anything you wanted. Wine, everything to do with wine. Nice bloke in there, but unfortunately, that's shut. And that is, that wasn't because of COVID. Over, it was shut well before COVID or Brexit, so we can't blame that. So yeah, that was it. So there's a shop in Horncastle, which is where I work, 10 minutes up the road. That's a health food shop, and that just does some kits and some barrels and some buckets, and not really no good to me really at the moment. So I have to shop online. That's just how it is. So it's the classics. And I love Cross Maloof for hops and yeast and some grain. Absolutely fantastic service. The Worcestershire Hop Shop is where I used to get my 25 kilo bags of grain originally because it was the best price. But I look around anywhere, I put a search in, and wherever I can get it the best price, I will get it at the moment because you have to, don't you? So obviously, Brew Keg Tap, great service, Johnny, fantastic for some of my kit, and the Malt Miller. And as people have said, it's probably the same content. Malt Miller, it's not the cheapest, but the service is second to none, and they know the stuff. So yeah, don't mind using all of them and some others. To be fair, why do I homebrew? I don't think it's ever been for saving money because when I started, beer wasn't that dear at the pub. I like now doing all grain, making up recipes. I'm not a big cook, I'm not a chef, but I like it to that. I love making stuff up, seeing how it comes out. I love the brew day. I love I love the experience of it. I love the smells. It's amazing. Love people trying my beer. I love doing videos. I'm never going to be doing this for the money. I don't think on YouTube you can anymore unless you're massive, massive. I don't think I will ever get that big, but I've never done it for that reason. I love making videos while I'm doing a brew day, tasting the beers, um, editing. I love editing. It's very bizarre. People say that's a bit of a grind, but I use LumaFusion on my iPad Pro, and I love the experience. Oh, mate, this is gassy. I love the whole experience of it, and I love the community. I love the community. BrewTube official, the site to be on. Absolutely, loads of help. I mean, there's loads of little messenger groups, and it's just. And I'm going to Retford. I tell you, I'm going to meet some of my heroes at Retford. I mean, it's just fantastic. Harry. When I first started, I had a few questions when I was buying some beer, but he'll get back to you. And the community is just incredible. I do the Hop Edition podcast after party, chatting to some of the guys. It's just fantastic. I'm a bit worse for wear sometimes by that time of night, but I just love the community. It's a right giggle. They'll take the mick out of you, and But when it comes down to it, if you need something, they'll help you. They'll help you. The community is fantastic, and I think everybody would probably say that. It's so friendly. Most people, you get the odd muppet, don't you, commenting on your videos, going, ah, don't matter, don't matter. My channel, I've never professed to being professional, knowing what I'm doing. I should have it on the start of all my videos. Please don't follow this. I absolutely, completely fudge it as I go along. That doesn't mean I'm not picking some good stuff up on the way, but I absolutely, definitely fudge it as I go along. I've had some great results. I have made some great beer. Much more better beer than not very good beer, or even mediocre beer, because I had a few problems a while ago with a few batches, and I reckon it was chlorine. But beer making general, if it goes well, yeah, it's great. I love it. I know I'm building some stuff up. I'm videoing at the minute on my CJI, which we'll do follow around, but we're just static at the minute because the place is a tip, and I do not want you seeing over there at the moment because I've been working in here. So I got that for a present. I've got tripods, I've got a couple of mics, I've got a lapel mic, and I've got a mic that goes on my tripod. I still haven't spent loads of money. We're going to get onto that in a minute, but making videos, spending money. I do it on my iPhone. I make sure I get I always have Apple because I'm a sucker for it. So I always have I try and get the whatever model number it is. I try and get the Pro for the cameras, and the cameras are fantastic, absolutely brilliant. And it's, the sound's great. And I say I've got a couple of mics which I only spend probably only 30 quid each on, and they've adequately done the job lovely. Once I got past the problem, I had like a searching sound, and I absolutely got it down to I have to have my phone on airplane mode when my mic's on, because I think some internal signal thing interferes with the wireless thing, and you just get a wireless sound on it now and again. But if I put it on flight mode, it's not searching for a signal. It doesn't interfere with the signal sound. So, and that has rectified it. So video wise, okay, I bought my LumiFuse. It's something like 30 quid one off. Get loads of you can get bolt-ons, but I don't need a lot of that. iPhone, which I have anyway, I just get the better model. That probably costs a bit more. And I get bits for my birthday. And, if I want something else, I get for my birthday. So I can't add up what I've spent. My original one of them, and converted a mash tun. I use that for a bit. We know the kegerator. I now use a Clark Steen. I've got 2 fermentation fridges. I've got some more corny kegs. I've got a couple of ink birds. I've got some thermometers. I've just bought some nuke taps. I've just bought Firmzilla. See, I've been doing really well with brewing recently, but that bleeding Firmzilla doesn't fit in any of my fermentation fridges, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have to get a big fermentation fridge and chuck one. I'm absolutely gutted. That was crazy. I thought I didn't even think about that. What else have I got? Bottles, scales, buckets. I'm looking around. Ice spindle, which someone gave me. Give Mr. Oyster Boy. I've got a tilt, which is causing me problems. So I bought the original battery. I've had this about 3 years maybe, and it was fine, and the battery lasted for ages. And then as soon as I changed the battery, I had a problem. It didn't even last a brew, and it had different. I couldn't calibrate it. People were saying, "Oh, the battery you've used a Duracell. You have to buy the original one." So I bought an original one, and that didn't last a brew. And I don't know what to do with that, because I love that. I use that just to tell me when to dry hop or when the brew's done and when to cold crash. But that ain't working anymore, and it's a big investment. That it's turning off properly. There's a drain in there somewhere, and I don't know why, where, how, who, and how to fix it. I don't know what's going on there, and that is driving me nuts, because I can't just justify going out and buying another couple of tilts. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So what we got left? What have we done? I love the experience. I absolutely love the beer. Other people love the beer. Love the community. It is not cheap. Don't come into this thinking it's cheap. It ain't cheap. When you get in, if you buy a bucket in an airing cupboard and a pressure barrel, it ain't bad. Change your yeast maybe on your kits. Some of the kits come with better yeast now, but I don't know. You see, I've been sport with all grain. I do a kit now and again. Change the yeast, stick it in a corny keg. Decent. Nothing wrong with it. And it's a big investment doing all grain, time wise. Either way, you get a good beer. I mean, some of the all grain brews are, do you know what? Probably majority of my all grain brews are probably better than some of the stuff I drink in a pub because it's sort of dackered down normal. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for something a bit more nowadays. And you do different. You can make any style of beer, can't you? And it's out there on YouTube. If you're going, oh, I don't know how to do a sour or what to use, there's a video. There's loads of videos, isn't there? Loads of videos on everything. So yeah, that is my quick. Yeah, that's not bad, actually. What I think about home brewing. Do I think it's going to carry on? Absolutely, I do. This hobby is not going to stop. It's been popular. My granddad did it. I'm not sure if his granddad. It was just different. It was different. Things evolve. Things change. I don't think this is going anywhere soon. Absolutely not. I mean, some of the videos I watch, I've invested in the people as well. You know, I like listening to John and what he's getting on about, not just brewing, other things as well. Not in football personally, but his family. I love it. You know, I get invested in people. I say I'm going to meet some of them. I'm very excited. Genuinely, really excited. I'll tell you. I cannot wait. It is going to be a fantastic night as long as I don't fall over. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Meeting some of the people that I have spoken to on Messenger and watched for years on YouTube. It's going to be a great experience. So is it? Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think it's going anywhere. Prices are going up. It's still cheaper than going to the pub because pints of beer at the moment are absolutely ridiculous. And I know the cost of things go up. I'm not blaming anyone because I don't really know who to blame. But fact is, if I just add an all-in-one, a basic all-in-one, like not a brand new grandfather with Wi-Fi and everything, and a converted fridge and a second-hand kegerator, not a new spangly one from Kegland or whoever. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Make one with a couple of taps on pretty cheaply, couldn't you? Two corny kegs, some line, bit of gas, small fridge. You can produce all grain. I'm talking about all grain beer and serve it chilled through a tap, and it wouldn't be out the way expensive to start up. There's always choices. There's budget choices and there's very expensive choices. You progress, and that's fair enough. But at the end of the day, probably the expensive choices probably make your brew day. Like the kit, you can do double batches, saves you time. I'd love to do that. You can use your phone for alerts and go do something else and come back to it. I'd love to do that. Or you can do it on a basic system for a bit of the price and still make the same beer. It just makes the experience a bit different. I'm all right in the minute. I mean, I would love to go out there and buy a really spangly kit. I really would. Be fantastic. And it would make my life easier. I'm loving the experience. Um, you know, if you've watched my videos, you know how much joy I get from this hobby. It makes me excited. I'm enthusiastic about it, and it's not wearing off anytime soon, I can tell you. Every beer that comes out well, and you smell and you taste, and it's nicely carbonated, and you enjoy better than that pint you had in the pub the other day. because I don't really have any craft pubs around here. There is in Lincoln, and we go and see them. Beerhead's absolutely fantastic, and there's a few other pubs in Lincoln, but that's the city where the university is. Little old Woodall Spa doesn't have lots and lots. It has a lot of pubs, and they have some good beers on now and again. We had Nicole a bit ago, but generally, I like some crafty beers, but I like bitters and I like stouts. I like everything. But you know, my beer drinking it at home quite excites me, and I think maybe it's some of the love I've put into it as well. That I'm pretty sure I'm waffling now. I feel like I'm waffling, but there, yeah. So I'm sure I've missed some stuff out. Bit of an insight. I think it's always nice to get a bit of an insight. I think it's a great thing to do. A few more people are going to do it. I've really enjoyed watching the ones I've watched so far, and yeah, I'm going to be brewing and hopefully still making videos for a decent amount of time to come. We will see. Until I don't enjoy it or some health gets me, I guess will stop me. But fantastic, fantastic hobby, fantastic, fantastic community, and very enjoyable at the end of it. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.